I am 2 minutes late. I am 2 minutes late, and I apologize. Hey, Dixie Normas, how are you? Purple Passion, thank you again. There's my mitten mama. There's my mitten mama. I've got y'all pushed. Well, I don't know. How many push you out? I don't know. Push. Hey, Kels. How are you? How are you? Hey, Pink Stars. I'm gonna tell a little secret when more people get in here. Yeah. Hey, Watcher. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, Freeside, my godson. Today, a little while ago, my 21-year-old was in the kitchen where I was, and he just started to rub the back of my hair. Sometimes, but I don't think that's as bad as when he decides he's going to lick me. He'll lick me on the face and go off. I never know what that kid's going to do. Never know. Now, hey, Angelo. I think I'm well, but I'm going to talk about it in a minute. Mitten Mama, the pineapple pie. Yeah, I'm going to be doing that tomorrow. I'm going to be watching that. I mean, I'm making that tomorrow, I believe. My husband loves pineapple. There's a deprogramming material. And Freeside, I'm glad. Hey, little Linda. Hey, Fairy Meadows. I'm actually going to drink some wine tonight. Not going to get shit faced. Just a little wine. Because every time I do one of these, I think I'm just going to relax, tell the story, and all that. But then I get to where like my brain is going faster than my mouth, and it's like I'm constantly trying to catch up. But I'm not going to do that with this one, and I hope I'm not going to do it anymore. That's not why I'm drinking wine. This is Barefoot. This is the sweet crab apple that I had before. I think I was drinking it. I don't even know when. Hold on. Let me open it. I put it in the freezer. Oh, there we go. There we go. All right. And I've got this wine will fit in this cup. This whole bottle of wine will fit in this cup. I am not going to prove it to you. Just trust me. Please drink some wine. I'll drink for you too. If this is triggering, I'm sorry. I am, and I'll work on that. All right. So see, that's a half the bottle is in there. So I mean, all right. There we go. Now I've been moving my camera to and fro for the last couple of times I went live because I have developed tremors. Um, I don't really know why. I don't want to know why. I mean, I understand that I've got to find out why, but it's very noticeable, especially if I'm holding papers, or something. Oh hell, anything that I hold. So I tried to move back thank you. I tried to move back the camera so you can, hey, help me, baby. So it's harder to see, but I think that may make it easier to see because you can see the uh, thing. Now, we all know, if you don't know, my mother has Parkinson's disease, but Parkinson's is not genetic or hereditary. Hey, Jennifer. It's not. It's not. So it's the odds of it being Parkinson's are very low. Especially since it's just trust me. A lot of interesting things have been happening. Hold on, there we go. I can't work the notebook. I can't fucking work the notebook. Oh, there we go. No, I still have the wrong shit. Anyway, it's quite troubling. I don't talk about it, but I know that somebody's going to notice it and, say I'm like in some type of withdrawals. I don't know. I don't know. Shit gets told on this damn platform. Like I ain't never seen it in my life. Never in my life. So that's the one thing. And again, I'm going to go slower because, and I was live earlier, and this particular case is very hard to go in line, like and it's very hard because this is a 24-hour period. um I don't even think it was a whole 24 hours, but that's what they say. It was a 24-hour period where these, hey, help me, Facebook, hello. um so it's very hard to keep it straight on who the victims are, in time there. And then some of the people that are like, they've gone to one house, to one person's call, ambulance call, and they've just now rushed somebody there. It's a very short, it's not 24 hours. Grace and Mercy, how are you? um Help me, Facebook. Are you okay? Hey, Sandy. Virgo away. I'm sorry I missed you because this moron. It's a fucking idiot. Anyway, so it's very hard to follow. If I'm not careful, I'll get ahead of myself. That's why I really gotta be slow. There's it's a 24-hour period, 7 people. Um, hey Flossie, you remember the panic over, and I can imagine, and like my thing with this case is, why did it start and why did it end? Why was this person only interested on getting rid of people? Hey, Olivia, how are you? I love you so much. Clancy, hello, I love you. Why did it stop? It doesn't make any, this doesn't make any sense, because I'm pretty sure everyone, besides maybe the first case, I might be wrong about that though. I've got so many cases in my head, I might be wrong about this. They had bought the Tylenol that day. They were at 5 different stores. And it took, so we have a lot of hospitals involved in this as well. This is all on the outskirts of Chicago, but there's a lot of outskirts of Chicago, a lot, Arlington Heights. And so these people went to different hospitals at different times. And then something huge broke. Something huge broke within this 24-hour period. Harry Styles, I'm not listening to you. Hold on, I'm going to shut Harry Styles up. I'm going to shut him up. Anyway. So, and there was a suspect. There were 2 suspects. I'm going to show you in these photographs. I'm going to show you one of the victims actually in the store buying the Tylenol. She was a flight attendant, and in the photo, if you look off to the thing, there's a guy that looks exactly like the guy that they think or thought it was. I ain't the only one that's seen it. I just don't understand. It's one of those things where we go through this a lot in these damn cases where they let the suspect just die. And arresting them and putting an end on it is not what they want to do. They just let them die. And we get that a lot. I thought the Tylenol thing happened in, no, it happened in Chicago. Now, there were other copycats after this that did not obviously take out as many people as the Chicago ones, but Hey, sincerely, Sierra, I love you. I love you. How are both the babies? How are the babies doing, baby? Your mom stayed pretty on. I would too. If that happened now, can you imagine? But they didn't have the safety things on the pills back then, so it made it incredibly hard to do. I mean, incredibly easy to do, apparently. Um, so, hold on. Sierra, you better tell me how them babies are. You might, again with the paranoia. I'll tell you this: Johnson and Johnson, who makes Tylenol, had troubleshot this incident in about 6 days. They had redesigned the packaging and they had done it within 6 days. I guess, and that's the only good thing that's ever come out of this is the new packaging. It changed everything. It changed every single thing in the supermarket because everyone now knew you're not safe. You're not safe. You're not safe. I don't even know. I personally wouldn't have even bought like fruit and vegetables because it could be, what I'm saying? It could be because this was cyanide, potassium cyanide, and it was incredibly. There were enough in these tablets to kill 10 to 100 times the regular. So if you took one pill, you were going to die. And most people take two. This is what we do. We're Americans. That's what we do. So, yeah, it became really bad. And all the symptoms were the same. All the symptoms were the same, like I said, in different hospitals. In different hospitals. So, let me I'm gonna very casually. I've got so many notes, y'all know I do. I got so many notes. Lord, hold on. Wait a minute. We'll find it. Don't worry. Oh, I was wondering this one. All right. Shit, fuck. No, don't want to talk about you right now. Don't want to talk about you right now. All right, let's talk about the first case. I haven't found her yet, but I will. So we have little Mary Kellerman. Let me find her on here. Let's put her up. All right, this is all of them. This is all of them. All right, now let me explain what this is. I do not know why I put it up here, but I will tell you why. Hey, L. Kennedy, how are you, my love? The bottle on the left is regular Tylenol capsules with the granular thing. On the right, that is the cyanide. The cyanide would get like that right there, kind of chunky. Hey, state of disorder, chunky, and like I said, you can see the thing. If you were able to smell, one potential victim bought a thing of Tylenol, but the smell, she wouldn't take it. It was a judge's wife because cyanide smells like almonds to only 40% of the people. So, and only 40% know that or can smell that almond whatever. So we have little Miss Kellerman. Here she is too. Let me find her. There she goes. She was 12 years old. She loved animals, down from her goldfish to a puppy to a pony. She loved animals. She also was I could say running a business. She was going to be a businesswoman because she was they're good. Oh no, but he's okay. Well, I'm glad they're okay. And I'm glad you're okay. And I love you very much. She was in the babysitting business. She was the one in the neighborhood that you called, right? She was the best at it, loved the kids. She would get off from school, go straight to babysitting. Saturday babysitting. So she is making a little bit of money. Um, Now let me see. This is September 29th, okay, in 1982. And the day before, it was a Wednesday. So on Tuesday, she did not feel well. She was getting a cold. And the next morning, on the 29th, she woke up and went to her father and asked if she could stay home again because she wasn't feeling any better. He said, absolutely, let me go get you a Tylenol because she did have the sore throat. And he went and got her a Tylenol, one Tylenol, and she took it. She walked away from her father to go into the bathroom, and she shut the door, and her father started hearing her make odd sounds. Um, Kept asking if she was okay. She wasn't answering, but he still didn't open the door out right away. Not that opening the door would have solved this problem. She was already, she was done. So he opened up the door and she is convulsing on the ground. She also has heavily heavy breathing, but very shallow, very loud and shallow. Her mother was on her way home from work. She worked at night. She pulled into the driveway the minute they were taking Mary into the ambulance. Not, back then, remember, we didn't have cell phones. So she literally pulled in and watched her child be loaded into an ambulance. Unfortunately, on the way to the hospital, they kept losing her heartbeat. And they would get it back, and then it would leave again, and then they get it back. She finally got to the hospital, and they lost her. They thought she had a heart attack at 12. They thought she'd had a heart attack at 12. That was victim number one. She died at 9, what was it, 9:30 in the morning? 9:30 in the morning. Which is, I can't imagine them coming out and telling me, your 12-year-old died of a heart attack. Your 12-year-old. But what do? She was their only child. Her name, what was his name? His name was Dennis, and she was Gianna. This was their only child, and she passed away. So I don't have times. I wish that I did, but I don't. But the nightmare had just started. The nightmare had just started. There was Adam Janis. Adam Janis was a father of two, a husband. He was a supervisor at the postal office, and he, like Mary, didn't feel well, and so that morning he just felt odd, and he called in thinking, well, this will be, it'll be better for me to rest my body and all that, because he knew something, he was some kind of sick. So now let's talk about him. Adam came from a family that immigrated here from Poland. It was 3 boys and I think a girl, but absolutely 3 boys. He came when he was 8. He was 8. They were all like two apart. What I know is, hey, right? Here's the thing. Yeah. What are the odds? But it made no sense. It made no sense to all these people that had to figure this out. It made no sense. So Adam said, well, okay, his wife, Teresa, whom he met in Poland. He had gone back to Poland to visit his hometown, and he met Teresa. And he married her, and he brought her here. She spoke very little Polish, but of course he did. And there was a nurse across the street that could speak Polish. So he said, listen, Teresa, that was her name. Why don't we go run some errands? We'll go pick up the hay, Melissa. Hey, Midnight Baker. Let's go pick up the kids, and run some errands. The children were in preschool, so they got out pretty early. So he went to the store with I can't remember which kid. He bought steaks for that night. He bought cut irises for Teresa, and he bought a bottle of Tylenol extra strength capsules. So when he got home, he started to put the groceries away, right? Took two Tylenol, started convulsing, couldn't breathe, grabbed his heart. It was extreme chest pains for both of them. I think that's why they thought they were heart attack. And by the time the ambulance got there, they put him in. He was already dead. He was already dead. The dose of cyanide that they got was massive, a massive amount, and it worked really quick, really quick. Here we go with this. So this was in the afternoon. Let me see. All right, Mary died at 9:56 a.m. All right. So then we're gonna go over here. Hold on. I write everything down. I need to stop. All right. Let's unpack. Here we go. Hold on. I'm a little ahead of myself. All right. They called the ambulance. I'm sorry. And they picked him up, and he arrived at the hospital at 2:33 p.m. Um, and he passed away. His family was huge. They were there. His brother's wife, Teresa. They could communicate with Teresa, right? But she just didn't speak a lot of English, so they had to do a lot of the back and forth because that's what Adam always did. Adam is the one that translated for her. So the idea was, let's all go over to Adam's. All right, they've been at the hospital. He was dead. She said that was Leonard Lake. Oh, hey, sounds just the name sounds scary. The family went to his home. His brother Stanley did not want to go. I don't want to go. I'm not going. This is horrible. I don't want to be in the middle of this. And his wife Terry said, "You gotta go for your parents. You've got to go," because they were absolutely, their child just died. So they get to Adam's house. Everybody. Stanley doesn't feel well. He doesn't want to be there. He doesn't want to plan a funeral because that's what they were there to do. They were there to plan the funeral. I get where it was, I get that it was very soon, but if you think about it, and I mean, unfortunately, us people who passed away, you don't have a lot of time to plan it. You do not have a lot of time. So that's what they intended to do. Stanley said, "I ain't doing that. I don't feel good." And Teresa, his, Adam's wife, said, "He's got Tylenol in there. He just bought it. Go take some of that." Hey, Debbie. And then he and Terry, his wife, went in there, and they both took 2 doses of Tylenol extra strength capsules. Stanley started with the, "Hey, try me, bitch." Stanley started with the symptoms pretty quickly. Chest pains, labored breathing. It's all of it's the same. I could just sit in, they're all the same. And he collapsed. He collapsed on the floor. Terry now wasn't feeling very well. And she put her hand on, one of the brothers' arms, and then she collapsed. And so now we've got 2 of them in the floor, trouble breathing, chest pains, convulsions, Eyes fixed and dilated right away. So they call the ambulance. Obviously, two of them. The woman, the guy, the 911 guy recognized the address because they just been there an hour, 2 hours before. He said, that's weird because they called with that like 2 hours ago. So when the medics got there, they were working on both of them. There were six medics in that living room, plus the two victims, plus another, what was it, Chuck Kramer showed up, who worked for the fire department. And here they're looking, they're trying to, they're not, they revive them and then they go. They revive them and then they go. They revive them and then they go. All right. But this Chuck guy says, wait a minute, it's something in this house. It's something in this house that is making them sick, something airborne. And everybody got loaded up. By the time they arrived, he had rooms ready for them to be quarantined. The family, the first responders, everybody, because he thought they were going to collapse. Why wouldn't they? The last couple of people that went in the house did. So all of them, can you imagine, were now put in quarantine and they couldn't, well, there was nothing to see. Stanley died. All right. I'm going to tell you a story about this. Hey, band of memories. How are you, love? I hope you're well. I do. I'm going to get a life one day, guys. I'm going to get a life one day, and I'm not going to do this anymore. So somebody better get ready. All right. So let's see. Stanley died in the hospital, right? Well, I mean, Terry did too, but Terry, however, they took her upstairs to put her on life support. They couldn't do that with Stanley. He was gone. He was just gone. All the family came in, right? They were quarantined there. And I get it, Chuck. I mean, I get that Chuck did that. Why wouldn't you think it was a pathogen, in the home? Because everybody was dropping dead in there. Nobody thought about cyanide yet. Nobody thought about that. Because here's victim 2, 3, and 4. Right? 2, 3, and 4. So that was that. Then we have Mary Lynn. Oh, y'all didn't tell me I didn't flick this over. That's Adam. That is Stanley. And that is Terry. Terry was only 20 years old. They had only been married for 3 months. So there you are with that. So now we have Mary Lynn Reiner. This is a heartbreaker right here. Mary Lynn Reiner. No, it's not Mary Lynn Reiner. That is. Now, she had just had a baby. She had 4 children. Her and her husband were extremely excited. They got a boy. They have 2 boys, 2 girls now. She had been home for 4 days from the hospital with the baby. And she wasn't feeling well. Just normal, not feeling well. And so she called her doctor to see if it was okay that she took Tylenol. She was probably breastfeeding. He said, oh, yeah. Was very try. I know, right? Exactly. So yeah, they said absolutely you can take Tylenol. It's not a problem at all. And she did. Now the story of this is she had gone to the grocery store earlier in the day for a thing of Tylenol, because they didn't have any in the house. She hadn't taken it yet because the doctor hadn't told her she could. So, but she went and got it that day. That day, right? Got it. She took the Tylenol. She instantly started to feel unwell. She collapsed into a chair in the kitchen. It was after she collapsed when she started having multiple seizures, one after another. And that was another thing that a lot of them had seizures, trouble breathing, labored breathing, faint breathing, pain, I guess chest pain and whatnot. So she collapsed in the kitchen, um, having seizures. Her in-laws happened to be at her home, I guess, because the baby was brand new, and they wanted to be there and spend time with it. So they took care of him. The older children were upstairs, and when everybody was screaming what to do, what's going on, help, 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 the children were yelling down, what's wrong? And they were being told, just, hey, Sarah, sassy Sarah. They were told just to be quiet, but they knew something was horribly, horribly wrong. Horribly wrong. So at 5 o'clock, Lynn, her name was Mary Magdalene. Thank you, Mama Cannoli, my sweet love. Hey, cutie pie. She, oh, bless her heart. This makes me just crazy cry. Let me go. Hold on. So at 5 o'clock, Lynn was rushed to the hospital, and was placed on life support. So she, let me give you a little hint. She didn't make it. Now we're going to go back to the Janice family because, like, again, they'd been married for 3 months. The two married months. He owned an auto parts store. All of the Janice children did rather well. He owned a auto parts store. Adam works for I think the post office has always, been a lot of money, pays you a lot of money. And they were building their home. They were starting to build a home. This is Stanley and Terry. Hold on. The family gathered at. Oh yeah, no, we've already talked about that. We've already talked about this. I don't talk about that again. Not gonna go. Now, also, well, let me just say this: when the medics showed up, they like Chuck started to be nervous. They looked around with angst. Something's wrong here. This is not this 3 times in 2 hours. No, something's wrong. Is it going to affect us? That's again why they were quarantined. But can you imagine looking around and they're doing their job, but you never really think anything bad is going to happen. All right, so let's look at this. This is Mary McFarland. Mary McFarland. She was a divorced lady. She worked for Illinois Bell Products, right? Pink Bow. Well, what do we have here? You have the biggest, baddest bitch on YouTube. That's what you got. How about that? She worked at the Illinois Bell phone. Do you remember in the 80s when you could go to the Bell phone center in a mall and pick out your phone, do everything with your phone? It was still there was still no there was still absolutely no cell service, but you could pick out your iPhone. I remember going, my mom taking me to select what kind of phone I wanted in my room. I know, bright, right? So she had 2 sons. She had 2 sons that were named Brad and I think another Adam. She had a really good job. But this night she was eating dinner and she came home to eat dinner, say hello to the boys. They were being kept by someone. She went back to the mall after dinner. Again, wasn't feeling well, had bought Tylenol that day. She was paid union pay. She was making a lot of money and she could set her own schedule. Nice when you're newly, divorced with 2 young sons. So she didn't feel well. She went out to the sales floor. Yeah. Hey, Susan. Went out to the sales floor. Thought, I'm just not, you know what? I'm getting a headache. So she went back into the break room. Now, here's the thing about the great break room. The break room in this store had fluorescent lights that buzzed and twitched and all that good stuff. And it was so bad that AT&T would put a jar of green pain relievers in the damn break room because it was that bad. People got, hey, Kels, welcome, welcome. Yeah, so she did not, however, when she went back there, she did not get, they were called greenies. That's what they got. I don't know why they call it. Well, they were green, I guess. She didn't take one of those. She went and grabbed her Tylenol. Do I need to say what happened? um, so she took the 2 tablets, went back to the floor. 10 minutes later, she goes back to the break room. She collapses. Can't get a breath. Eyes already fixed and dilated, right? All that happened. Everyone, it happened so quickly. So they were trying to get her back. They came, they got her. It didn't work. She did not make it. They did get her to the hospital, though. I'll give them that. They did. All right. So how many are we up to now? I don't even know. So let's see. At 8:15 that night, right as Stanley succumbed to his poisoning, another victim was on their way, and that would have been Mary McFarland. All through these, there was always somebody either being looked at or being, taken to the hospital. So our last person, and the only person that we have seen actually in the store, is Paula Prince. Now, Paula Prince, uh, smashing lovely lady. She lived in some of the newer high rises in a condo. Hey, Curious, I love you, baby. She had a pretty good life. Had a condo to herself. She went down to the street at her, I guess you'd call it her local drugstore. Got the Tylenol. That she had a flight that day because she was a flight attendant. So she did a return flight from, was it Vegas, and then that landed in somewhere else. I don't know. And then she got brought back to Chicago. She loved to travel. She loved it. So this was like, but she didn't feel well when she got home. She called a friend and said, "Hey, you want to go get a drink?" She said, "Nah, it was because it was like 9 o'clock at night, 9 or 10. When you're inside of this, when you're living in a city, 8 or 9 or 10 ain't a lot of time. It's because both of y'all are close to wherever you want to go have a drink. I don't know if y'all knew that, but now you do. Now you do. Now you do. So high achiever, this one was. Lived in the Old Town neighborhood, so that's, I guess apparently really great. She was gonna start a party planning company on top of her work as a flight attendant, and hold on, everybody. She couldn't find her friend before she left the airport. She wrote a note that said, I have exciting news to tell you. And she put it in I guess they had mailboxes there at work, and then she went home, got the Tylenol on the way, came home, changed out of her clothes, took her makeup off. We know this because she's found. We know what she was wearing when she left it. We know what she was found in, which was a flowery gown. And she took her pills, the 2 pills, swallowed them around, hey, T-Pack, swallowed them around 9 o'clock, 9:30. I don't know how they came with that because Miss Prince was alone. She lived alone. So I don't know how they knew it was that she took the 2 capsules between at 9:30, but I'll go with that if that's what they like. She began not to feel well, and this was presumably right? The end. She did not receive any help. There was no one who called the ambulance. Nobody knew she was up there. So this, you would think, would be the end of it, right? You'd think that, but not here. Not here. No, no. She's not found until October 1st. So we're still in September 29th, 1982. So she was the last one that we have to sit back and think. Now people are starting to put shit together. People are starting to put it together. The Janus brothers, they were the big one, but the same symptoms coming in. Not everybody put it together, but they had to. They had to. Chuck had already put everybody in quarantine to do his part. What he thought was going on. There was another. Well, she was all right. Helen Jensen. Now, she was the only public health officer in her part of the outskirts of Chicago. And so she thought, okay, she started realizing something's not right. Chuck calls her. See, Chuck's never mentioned. Chuck is never mentioned, except for he called her and said, we got something going on here. Something's happening. And tells them, she leaves, flies over to the Janus home, goes in, finds the capsules, takes them out, counts them out. It's 44 in there. So that means 6 were gone. Everybody took 3. She put it back. She didn't smell anything. All right. And she goes back to the hospital. She goes to the people in charge and said, listen, I think something's wrong with the Tylenol. We've had, death after death here. And they pretty much laughed at her. They laughed at her. When I say they, everybody running these little towns. So she went home. She actually went home, cried herself to sleep, came back the next morning thinking, you are not going to laugh at me again. And she made sure she started getting the information. So this would have been the next morning. This would have been the 1st, October 1st. Yeah. Yeah. So they had to look at it because it was blinding what was going on. It was blinding. So we had to start getting the Tylenol off the shelves as quick as possible. So every living human being in that knew not to take it. So they started putting things on the television, putting things on anywhere they could find. Do not take Tylenol. Johnson & Johnson put out warnings. Do not take Tylenol extra strength capsules. Now the capsules were powdery inside, like capsules. Tylenol has kind of capsules, but they're solid. They don't even make capsules anymore. So the police got into their cars and were, firing down the, every street. Throw away your Tylenol. Do not take your Tylenol. People in the drugstores were taking it off the shelves, left, right, and center. People were throwing it away. They were telling people to throw it away. Can you imagine the cops coming through your town on a loudspeaker telling you to throw away your Tylenol? Which is probably one at the time the biggest painkiller in the world. I could kind of remember when it was just in the hospitals, and then they went out public, and it was like, well, if the hospitals can trust it, so can I. do that commercial. So everybody was every Tylenol was taken off the shelf. It was about $93 million worth of Tylenol were put into vans, just tossed away. And nobody else died. But I'm going to bring up something in a minute. And I'm going to look and see if y'all do this, if y'all get it. All right, so let me see. Let me see what I got left here. Okay, this is the they're the Janus brothers funerals. This is all the, and I kept thinking, is that snow? But yeah, it might be. It's end of September. This is, I mean, they were absolutely. Can you imagine losing two sons? I don't, and a daughter-in-law, and a daughter-in-law. You have a. So this is the day of their funeral. I want to say it would have been October 1st or 2nd. I'm not sure. October 1st, a lot of these people were laid to rest. I guess they just wanted it done quickly. After autopsies, they wanted it. It was Excedrin. There you go. Yeah, Excedrin. Oh my God. Load speakers to come. Yeah. Hey, Flossie, I agree. I agree. Yeah, that's gonna be too much to bear. But as some people know, uh, you you don't think you're gonna live through it, but you do. Not because you want to, because you don't, but you make it because that's the way God wanted it. I know I'm not gonna go off about this, a lot, but I know what it's like to have nothing to live for. Absolutely nothing. Because it was all gone. Baby with autism, pregnant to one. Yeah, this crazy. All right, so here is little Paula Prince. Okay, this is her in the store. This is her in the store buying the Tylenol. Ooh, do I go to the next one? There's a guy back here, and they believe that this guy right here is the killer. They've always believed that. What are you gonna know? I'm sure he wasn't arrested. So let's go to the suspects. Thank you, Mint Mama. I tried. I sure do try. um, a couple of days later, in October, beginning of October, a letter came into Johnson and Johnson, and that letter said the following: "If you pay me $1 million, I'll stop killing people." Well, what is it? That's extortion. If you pay me $1 million, I'll stop killing people. Now let's look at nobody had died since the 29th. This letter was mailed October 1st. All right. I won't kill anyone else. My thing to that is that like is that there was a man that got picked up for doing it. All right, a man that got picked up for doing it. Let me find that little bastard. It's up here. He was one of the suspects. They traced back that letter to him. He lived in New York with his wife. I've not seen the actual letter. I don't know that. I mean, I couldn't find it. I couldn't find it anywhere. So I mean, I guess they keeping it. I'm not sure. So they figured out who this guy was, and his name was James William Lewis. Again from New York. Now, he says that I did not mean to do that I didn't mean to scare everybody. I just wanted to get my wife's ex-boss in trouble. So I think that company was mentioned or the address was mentioned or whatever. That's all he wanted to do was get avenged for that. He also, however, had a 5-year-old daughter many years before. She died, and she died right during surgery because they used Johnson and Johnson sutures, and they were defective. Now he didn't use that excuse. He used the excuse of I am going to my wife's former boss now. Not that Johnson and Johnson had killed his daughter, his 5-year-old daughter. So they bring him in. He said that he had let me see. Let's see. James Thompson. He uh he was accused of sending the letter to Johnson and Johnson demanding $1 million to stop the cyanide-induced murders. Um, he told authorities that he had been in contact with cyanide. He had been in contact with it. But these guys, the police were like, he couldn't have done this. He was in New York on the 29th. This dude was in New York. He couldn't have got to Chicago, put all the things out, right, to the different stores. It was all over, the outskirts. And there's no way he could do it and get back. No, it's not going to happen. But they still suspected him. So they arrested him. And they arrested him for, yep. Yep. They arrested him for, whatever the hell they did. Hold on. So they took his fingerprints. They took her fingerprints. They took their blood, right? Because the wife was a real. Hold on. Your brows are lost. What? Oh no. Reload. I'm back. Sorry. I don't know what happened. Hey, healing time. Healing time. Do you ever? I don't know if you're American or whatever, but there is a show in England on BBC, Rosemary and Thyme. They're like detectives, but they also do landscaping. I know. It's so good. I love that show. I love that show. So anyway, yeah, they got him for, writing the letter and whatnot. He got, well, this is what's odd to me as well. Some say he got 10 years. Some say he got 12 years. And some say he got 20 years. Oh, you are? There was an Aussie show I used to like to watch. Oh, what was that? What was that? It was a family. You know, there's a show I used to watch. It had a family. Hey, Celia. You watched them all? I love them. Celia, I love them. I love them all. I'm also into Midsummer Murders. I love that episode. Hey, I almost said, "Hey, sour girl, how you doing, baby?" Doc Martin is another one of mine too. Right now, I'm watching Perot. Perot. I'm also watching Are You Being Served? And because that's one I've been watching since I was young. They used to put it on TV in my 20s here on PBS, and I love that show. Still love that show. And I'm watching. Yeah, I'm watching it on there. All right, so he's denying posting letter. Da, 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 da. All right, so another thing that Mr. Fuckface here, Mr. Lewis said, I didn't start writing the letter until 3 days. All right, until which would put it would put it October 1st. He's the one that said it took him 3 days to do it. He's also the one that said, then you have to look back and say, wait a minute, you started it on the 1st. It got to them on the 1st. So you did not. If you started this letter 3 days before they got it, you already knew what was going to happen because that would have put it past the 28th, the 29th. He wouldn't have known on October 1st to write it. That's another thing. Another thing that I don't like. He promised in that letter not to do it again if they paid him money. No more. How did he know that there were going to be no more? How did he know that, Mr. Lewis? How did Mr. Lewis know that that was going to be final? There was no more poison out there. He must have known everywhere he stuck it. All right, I got to find my pictures. I'll find my pictures. Hold on. No, don't need that. Nope, don't need that. Nope, don't need that. If I have to call this kid down here again, let me put my photos back up. Nope, not that. Catherine, your mother's stupid. Can you come here a minute? Slides. There we go. Hot damn, y'all. I'm getting good at this. You need to watch the hell out because I'm getting good. I'm a neuropath and a nurse. That's, oh, okay. That's cool, though. That is so neat. Let me get all the way to the back. All right, here's our victims again. There's the, all right, here, like I said, here's Miss Prince. And this right here, they believe is the murderer right here. And let me get it in a good thing. There she is. There he is. Now you get a good shot. You got a good shot of that. I know it's that big. I was gonna blow it out, but I didn't have time. That's Mr. James William Lewis. Beard, whatnot. Now I'm gonna go back. Here's the guy again. You can't see me when I'm doing it. I'm circling him. And I'll go back again to this. All right. I wish I'd have blowed that up. And yes, I did say blowed that up. Let me see if I can. No, I can't. Fucking shit. All right. So if that it was him, he's the one that put it there. He was the one that actually put the cyanide. Somebody had to take the bottles off the shelf. I don't know in which, if they took a couple bottles off of each place, that they went to. They had to come back. They had to put the cyanide in there, right? Close it well so that it wouldn't be noticed. Again, there was one person that bought Tylenol, but she wouldn't take it because it smelled bad. And she was the wife of a nurse. A wife of a judge. So none of these other people could smell it because only 40% of the population can smell it. So that's another reason why somebody over here can smell it and these people can't because it's one of those things. It's one of those things. So he got time in jail. I want to say it was like 10 years. Here he is again. Nasty ass. Was there no more? Oh, okay, there's no more. So let's talk about him real quick. Because there was another person who did not write a letter to Johnson & Johnson saying that they were going to stop doing it, even though they had no idea that why, where, when, or how. Okay. So he was in there. He stayed in there a long time. Now, when he got out, him and his wife moved again. She stayed with him. Back when we started with the DNA, right? They got a hold of these tablets. There were a lot of bottles that didn't get bought. They didn't get bought. So, this could have been so much huger. It's already huge for every one of these people and their families that it happened to, but this could have been so much bigger. And why just that one day? Why that one day are you putting them out? So anyway, they mix it up, put it up. They couldn't have watched every store that had them. They couldn't watch everyone. But if that is him and Paula Prince's photo there, thank you for being a member for 15 months, Flossie. Thank you. I love you so much. Yeah, so so they got his DNA, they got the wife's DNA, they got the wife's and his fingerprints and whatnot. None of it matched. They did have they did have DNA and whatnot and fingerprints on the bottles, on the actual. What happened? They didn't have a lot of the actual pills left because the cyanide was eating that coating. It was eating it to up. So we don't have any one of those pills to this day. It all got eaten up. All the things. That's true. That is true. So they took it. No, absolutely no DNA was found around the thing, and absolutely no fingerprints matching these two people. So what do we do? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what do police do? They kind of followed him around a lot. They wanted to know all about his movements when he got out. They wanted to know all the stuff he was writing in letters. Hold on. I am hot. I am hot. So there was this other weirdo. Other weirdo. He got it basically, he got the highest number of years he could have for the crime that he committed, which is writing the letters. They gave him the ultimate because everybody still to this day thinks it's him. They sure do. Let me find. So then we have another suspect. We have a Roger Arnold. He worked in the dock of one of the stores that had the cyanide in it. He also admitted to the police, yeah, sure, I absolutely have, just like the other guy. Absolutely, yeah, I got sure, I got cyanide in here. Yeah, oh yeah. And they were like, can we, not do that? Yeah, he went to a bar downtown. He loved this bar. And the bar owner's name was Marty Sinclair. And Mr. Arnold came in, frequently loved the place, couldn't get enough. I used to love bars like that, don't you? Hey, shit happens. How are you? Let me move my hair around. I am hot as shit. So he came in discussing how he was going to kill people with white powder into the bar. He went in the bar and was talking to the owner, who was, obviously being the bartender, and talking about how he was going to do all that. He was going to kill people with powder. And the bartender owner said, you know what? Don't talk about this. This is not good. Don't want to hear this, and whatnot. But he really didn't want to. He really didn't want to. Now here's some of the I don't think that these are connections, but he worked with Mary Reiner's dad, all right, at a warehouse. All right, not right current time, but that's what people think that is a big enough. I know that's not one, but anyway, he also worked across the street from the hospital that she got out of when she had her fourth child. I don't think that's a coincidence. I mean, I think it is a coincidence. I think it's a coincidence. I don't think he knew her at all. I don't think he knew her. He got a little bit crazy. Now, what he ended up doing was killing a man in the bar that he mistook for Marty Sinclair. He shot him in the bar. He's away. He was never charged, even though he said, absolutely, I've got my hands all over the damn thing, all over the cyanide. It's all over me. So the two people that did admit to having cyanide, and two people that wanted to scare people. Remember, because Roger wanted to kill people with the white powder. Little dit fuck here, whatever his name is, wrote. And those are your suspects. Those two men, they're both dead now. Larry, whatever his name, died, and like in the 90s. It was a big deal around that area. He died, and so now we've got no suspects. The only time that this case gets any publicity, and it would only be in Chicago, is around the anniversary of the murders, but not every anniversary. That would be too simple. Every major, like 5, 10, 20, 25. That's the only time it gets. I don't know if the police stopped looking because they thought, you know, the guy was it, and they just didn't bother looking for anybody else. But then they had to start moving around because, hey, guess what? The DNA don't match. Neither the fingerprints. So they had to go back and start. You would think go back and restart the investigation. I don't know that that's what they did. I don't. Nobody knows what they're doing. Did you watch the FBI interview? I did not. See, Flossie, when I'm doing these, I do it on purpose. When I'm doing these cases, right? I purposefully, I would probably have watched that if I knew it was on there, quite frankly. But I don't watch anything else because I don't want to be influenced by something that might not be real or because if you, it makes it a lot easier. Now, after this, after I'm done with it, yes, I do. I want it. After this, I will absolutely go watch it. Absolutely go watch it. I just don't like to be. So that is it, guys. That's the case. 7 people in one day, in one 24-hour period, bought the Tylenol, took the Tylenol, died from the Tylenol. Right, exactly. It does. Shit, it does. But they don't talk about this. They don't talk about if you go and look at like the Chicago Tribune, you're not gonna find it unless it's a major anniversary. I don't know if this dude here, I always forget his name. I don't know if Mr. Lewis ever knew any peace because they sure as hell didn't give him any. That's a good thing to me, but it might have been horrible. I don't know. He might not have been the guy. He looks like the guy that is following Miss Prince. Sure as hell looks like him. And if I could have blown it up, and I was going to blow it up, and what did I do? I can't remember what I did. And but he looked exactly like him. It looks like him. Even though in the 80s, early 80s, they were like beards were the thing. I would make a great PI. You might be right. You might be right. I don't know. I think it's because I'm nosy. And I think we discussed this before. Might have been in the beginning when I started doing these, like, well, no, I've always done them. You feel like you're helping. I feel like I'm helping. No one asked me to help. I don't know what I'm talking about. But I feel like I'm helping this in some way. I'm saying their names. Uh, when you say someone's name, what was that? That's just kind of an Egyptian thing. It brings them back to life. I say their names. I want to say their names. I all love to do that. So yeah, I think I'm helping. In my mind, I'm helping for sure. But yeah, I'm so glad I finally caught you live. Oh, state of disorder. I hope I did go slow enough, but not too slow to get every detail in. I've got to be very mindful to stay, make sure my brain doesn't get too far ahead of me because it messes me up to no end. I feel like I did that. I don't know. Enemy. So that's it. So that is this story. I'm so glad y'all showed up for this. This is fun. I do not know what the next one's going to be. Next week we're going to do Saturday Night Paranormal Pajama Party Dreams, and it will be you telling your worst dream if you would like to share it. I sure hope you do. I think you should go to. Let me write that down. So that's going to be. I think that's going to be fun. That's going to be fun in my opinion. It's going to be Galapagos. Oh, that's a P. Sorry. PAGOS affair. I always like new stuff. New old stuff. Oh, somebody else has heard of it and I haven't. Okay, well, that's what we're gonna cover. We're gonna cover it. Thought about you today when I read that the average person owns 15 books. Are you serious? Is that a real? Hey, little Linda, how you doing? Love. Thank you for showing up. I really appreciate y'all showing up. 15 books. The Miranda Project. Miranda Project. All right, I'm going to look at all of these. I'm still trying to find a mystery that does not involve a murder. Like the ones that we've. God, I feel like I ran right through them all, but I'm going to try to find one that is a true mystery and does not involve somebody dying. Oh God, Sarah, I get 15 books a damn month. What are you talking about? Oh well. I mean, listen, I love it. I haven't read a book though in a while because I've been so busy doing this during the day. I literally do this all week, all day. It's a job. It is a 8-hour job. And I do it the whole time. This one right here, I've worked on several weeks because I needed to get it all in the right order. I don't know why I needed to do that. I didn't have to do that, but I felt if I hadn't done that, I'd be crazy right now. So I haven't actually. The Galapagos Affair has deaths, but murder. Hey, I'll take it. I have done DB Cooper. We did DB Cooper. In fact, you know what? I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you something. Don't be. Don't be alarmed. Hold on. Wait a minute. I'm not done. I am not done. Oh, wait a minute. Guess what? I'm not done. Hold on. There's more. There's more. Hold on. All right. Now, this is all the ones we did last year. Let me pick it up. Can you see? All right. Yeah. This is what we did last year. All right. There's a lot here. DB Cooper's in here. George Reeves is in here. I want to do Marilyn Monroe again because every time that I do it, I don't remember doing it. I don't think that's good. There's Dorothy Kilgallen, who was a woman reporter. Amazing. Who went after the Kennedy, not the Kennedys, went after who killed the Kennedy. She was friends with John. She amazing. So yeah, we got DB Cooper. I think DB Cooper might be over here. I've got to put these in my. Oh shit! Really, motherfucker! I got to put these in my new file cabinet that my husband, for some reason, only brought halfway through the damn basement. I don't know why. And here's what we've done so far. Okay, so you saw that. Shit. All right. This is what we've done so far. This is this year. This is this year so far. So far this year. So now you understand and see like why it kind of it kind of takes me a while to I do a lot of research. Anyway, so I'm gonna look up the Galapagos Affair, the Miranda Project. I'm still gonna look for other stuff too. It's looking like y'all are more interested in the Galapagos Affair, so we'll just plan on doing that. The next week, I'll put it up on my StreamYard. I try to keep that very updated because I want people to know what's happening. Thank you, Mama, Mitten Mama. All right, now I'm gonna have to get a folder for this shit. This and put it in my little thing, in my little cabinet. And I told my daughter, right? She just got admitted. Well, she didn't get admitted. She got accepted into Randolph College. It used to be Randolph Macon Women's College, but they shortened it and they allow men in there now. She got a complete scholarship. She got like 80% of the scholarship, and we were happy about that because it was going to be $22,000 a term, right? So then she got another scholarship for, I want to say 10 or 12, 10 or 12. The other day, literally the other day, Friday, she received another scholarship for, I think that one is 1,500. Now, there was one point when we had to register and I would have had to pay $150. I laugh at that because I know so many people have this keeps them up at night. Their colleges, their kids' college. So literally, they're paying her for school. Now we're going to get a Pell Grant, right? And we're going to take that Pell Grant and we're going to go get her a top-notch laptop. And she's not living on campus. She's living here. There's no way. I mean, I almost would love her to live on campus, but there's really no need for that. Plus, it's $12,000 more that I did not think we had, but we do now. I'm not going to do it. Thank you. It's all from drama. The drama department, the plays. I knew she was special when, obviously I always knew that. But when she started like being a stage manager and a techie where they do all that stuff, and then she was, I realized how great she was, but I saw her friends see how great she was, right? Because she's pretty natural at this stuff. So much so that we got this, private college scholarships. And I don't know, someone else might come in next week. I don't know. But yeah, my daughter is starting our new thing. And I said, listen, if you ever need to do a report on anything really murder related, just come to mama. Come to mama. I've got it for you. You have it right here. Thank you. I'm going to go tell her. My birthday is on Thursday. I was born on the 4th of July. And my birthday is Thursday, if you don't know what day that is. I always think I'm going to go live, right? And get, just bombarded with love and whatnot. I never end up doing it because, I don't know. I feel like I'm bugging people or whatever. But I think I'm going to go live on the 20. No, not the 20th. On the 4th. I'm going to do it. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. Happy early birthday. Yeah, 56. Wow. But you know what? I have a lot of friends that didn't make it to 56, so I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it all damn day. Thank you, little Linda. All right, now y'all run along. Run along, everybody. Do you see how much wine I drank? A sip. A sip. You did. Oh, Debbie, I love you. Thank you, Debbie. I love you. Debbie, don't forget, listen, we got this dreams version of Saturday night paranormal pajama party. Please, everybody come. This is good. They're always fun. When we start talking about ghosts, this is going to be dreams. So much fun. Please come. All right. I love you all very much. I really do love you all very much. Thank you for staying through this. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming over here and seeing what I'm doing. I know there's a lot of options out there on YouTube, and I'm grateful that you consider me an option very much. So, okay, hon. So anyway, y'all run along. I love you, State of Disorder. Run along. Have a great weekend. Have a good week. Don't get too hot. Be safe. All that good stuff. I will see you. I might see you Thursday. I'll see you Thursday. All right. All right. I love you guys so much. Be safe. Love you. Thank you for coming.